I talked to a foreigner named Chuck who said he was married twice in his home country. He said what he wanted he didn't get, what he got he didn't want. He said when he married a Filipina, he finally got what he wanted. His stomach full, his bowls empty, and BJ's for breakfast. Third time's a charm. Way to go, Chuck. Now, I can't guarantee that every Filipina is going to serve you a special breakfast in bed every morning. But I can tell you that the majority of foreigners who end up dating or marrying good Filipinas usually end up being extremely happy. If you are one of the lucky ones, then you already know. The reality is that foreigners come to the Philippines every day looking for Filipinas because of our reputation of being great wives, girlfriends, mothers, nurses, caregivers, the life of the party, and all-around ultimate badass beautiful women. So why exactly do Filipinas treat their men like kings? Why are Filipinas so helpful and caring and affectionate? And on the flip side, why do some Filipinas turn into ungrateful money whores or total bitches? Let me explain. In the Philippines, who you choose as a partner can be the difference between life and death. So that means relationships are more practical here. When a Filipina chooses a partner, it could literally mean the difference between a life of poverty and limited opportunities and a life of abundance and amazing opportunities. It could mean the difference between being a single mom and having a complete family. It could mean the difference between merely surviving and living life to the fullest. In your home country, maybe women can easily go to college, get credit cards, get loans, buy cars and houses, or easily get high-paying jobs. But it doesn't work that way here in the Philippines. So, early on in life, a Filipina has to make a decision, and she typically has three options. Number one, she can be a gold digger and learn how to manipulate men to get what she wants. Number two, she can simply spread her legs to get money. Or number three, she can study hard and then work hard to earn money. I chose the third path. I had good parents. I was scared to date foreigners. I never worked in a bar. I didn't have enough money to go to college, so I decided to work as a waitress. I read as much as I could and I learned as much as I could from talking with other people. And because I worked in a tourist hotspot, I was able to learn from the best and brightest minds from other countries who showed up here for vacations. So, think of a Filipina as being in a small boat and heading out to sea. And as her life continues and she gets farther and farther into the ocean, the waves start to get bigger and bigger. So eventually, a Filipina has a moment where she's in her little boat and a storm blows in. She survives the storm, but it finally dawns on her that she's not going to make it unless she either finds a really good captain of a very strong and sturdy boat that will let her climb on board, or she gets really good at forecasting the weather and avoiding the storms, or she figures out a way to build a better boat. So, for me, I never made more than $1 an hour. But when I turned 18 several years ago, I soon realized that you can only barely survive making $1 an hour, and you definitely can be buying Red Horse and Jollibee. The point is this: Filipinas are in tiny boats that are headed out to sea. And eventually, we figured out that sooner or later, our tiny boats aren't going to last very long. So, we're going to need to find a captain. But here's where it gets tricky. We live very simple lives, and we are born survivors. We know how to stretch our pesos and we can survive on very little. And we're so good at living this way that sometimes we don't think we need rescued. I was like this for a long time. I was able to live cheaper than anyone else. All I need was rice and a tiny room that I rented for 3,000 pesos a month, which is around $60. And that's what some Filipinas do. They're perfectly content living a very simple lives. So that's why some captains might be really confused. They see this tiny, poor, helpless, beautiful Filipina lost at the sea and say, "Get on!" And she say, "Oh, hi, no, I'm okay. Thanks for checking though." And this is a very common occurrence here. It's important to remember only a Filipina can rescue herself. Only she can choose to get on your boat. But you can't actually rescue her unless she wants it. Next, a Filipina might have entertained a lot of bad captains and might be stuck in her tiny boat with a few babies. Oops. And a good captain comes along and spots her in the distance and shouts, "Hello, I want to rescue you." "Oh wait, I didn't realize you have 4 babies on board with you. Sorry, gotta go." Next, a Filipina might be a rotten mango. She has been gold digging and manipulating men since a very young age. And a captain comes along and sees this beautiful Filipina in her tiny boat and says, "Hey, get in!" And so she gets on board, and instead of being a grateful voyager who knows how to earn her keep on board the ship, she's only interested in becoming a stowaway. Dr. Orion Taraban talks about this type of women in this book, The Value of Others. This is the kind of voyager who wants a ride on the ship without paying for a ticket. So the captain says, "Who the hell do you think you are?" and quickly escorts her off his ship. This is super frustrating because she doesn't realize that she's going to end up dying at sea simply because she doesn't know how to stop trying to manipulate men. Part of this video was inspired by Dr. Taraban's video titled, "Make Her Work for It." Don't just hand it over. I put the link in the description below. It's a great video that basically says, don't let someone get on your ship and extract all your value while just being a stowaway. Next, a Filipina might be a really bad mango. This is a Filipina scammer. She's not just a gold digger or trying to use manipulation tactics to get the little things that she wants. This Filipina is much worse. She gets on the boat and starts scheming right away about how she can kick the captain off the boat and become the captain herself. This is the worst. At first, she seems amazing, and then the switch over happens. This is the Filipina who gets you to build her family a house, and then once it's finished, she sends you packing. Or the Filipina that you get a fiancé visa for, and then once she gets her green card, she takes off on a jet ski. So now, for the good Filipina like me, she lives a very simple life and doesn't need much to survive. But eventually, it gets really old eating rice and street food every day, and she actually wants the nice steak dinner and the strawberry cream pie. So now, she's on the lookout for a good captain. Some captains come by and ask if she needs help, but they look more like a drunk pirate than a captain. Or they might have a weird-looking boat. Or maybe the boat looks too perfect, like there's something suspicious about it. Or maybe the captain looks too serious and it doesn't look like his boat is going to be much fun. Or the captain has a huge beard. Gross. Either way, we'd rather take our chances in our tiny boat than to hop on your boat. But if we actually find a good captain with a boat that looks like something we want to climb inside, then once we make it onto his boat, we are going to be sweeping the floors every day and polishing every square centimeter of the boat at night. Wait, it still looks dirty. Let me polish that again. We're going to make sure the captain is happy every day, and we're going to treat him like a king for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're so happy to have a seat on his boat that his happiness is our number 1 priority. And number 2, if we stop being helpful, then we might lose our place on the ship because there are plenty of other Filipinas who would love to take our place. This explains why Filipinas are famous for being jealous, because we don't want any other Filipinas stealing our spot on the boat. This also explains why Filipinas are both feminine and hardworking, but we're not radical feminists. Because we know good captains want a woman and also want someone that's going to help make their life on the boat better. And we know that captains don't want a woman trying to be a man and trying to compete for the title of captain. When you love your captain, you want to look good for him and make his life easier and be inoffensive. So, here's some tips for captains out there. Number 1. Be a kind, fit, and healthy captain. If you were lost at sea and Ursula, the mean, fat, ugly mermaid from the Little Mermaid movie, showed up to rescue you, it wouldn't matter how desperate your situation was, you probably wouldn't want to get on her boat. Number 2. You need to have a course charted. Remember, you're the captain. You're not a taxi driver who lets the passenger determine the route. In the book of The Value of Others, Dr. Taraban explains this phenomenon. A lot of guys assume the role of the taxi driver and they let a beautiful woman in their taxi and then take her where she wants to go. But the second they start to go where they want to go, the woman quickly exits the taxi. Think about it. You could take an Uber 100 times and if on the 101st time the Uber driver didn't take you where you wanted to go but instead went where he wanted to go, you would be totally freaked out. It would be creepy and weird. So, if you're going to be a captain, it's important that you establish up front that you're not a taxi driver. Your course is already charted and if she doesn't want to go where you're going, that's okay. She can wait for another boat. Now, most guys show up in the Philippines and assume the role of the taxi driver. And that's okay. It's easier to be a taxi driver than it is a captain. Being a captain is hard work. It takes more time, money, energy, and skill. Being a taxi driver is easy. But just remember that if you're a taxi driver, the minute you stop taking her where she wants to go, she's going to get off your taxi. This explains why so many Filipinos will get a fiancé visa and then take off once they get their green card. She was simply taking a ride with a taxi driver and not a captain. So, be a captain with a charted course and if she wants to be your voyager on your ship, then let her on board. If she's only interested in going where she wants to go, then tell her to get the fuck off the boat. It's also good to point out that this is why some Filipinos might need to be in their own tiny boats for a little longer than others before they will really appreciate what your ship can offer them. Number 3, always make sure that there's not another boat supporting her in the distance. If she gets off your ship late at night and comes back in the morning, then that's a bad sign. Number 4, remember, getting on a big ship can be scary. Make it easy for her to get on. And don't overwhelm her. Don't be an asshole. Don't be demanding or controlling. Give her freedom and make being on your ship enjoyable. Number 5, when she gets on board, don't make things too easy for her. Don't let stowaways take a free ride on your ship. Either put them to work or throw them back in the ocean. Number 6, once she gets on board and starts learning how to do a good job and start learning how to polish your periscope every morning, then all you have to do is enjoy it. Don't ruin the smooth working order of your ship by taking the bait and trying to pick up random mermaids you see swimming in the ocean. Those mermaids are a trap. They have diseases and they belong in the sea, not on your boat. Let me conclude by saying that the foreigners who end up having amazing Filipinos are usually captains and not taxi drivers, and they don't tolerate stowaways. Good captains also don't make the mistake of thinking that mermaids belong on their boat. And the reason that a smart Filipina is going to do everything they can to make you happy is because life in the ocean is incredibly hard if you're not on a good boat with a strong captain. And that means lots of good breakfast. Remember, it's more fun in the Philippines, but only when you're being treated like a king. If you have some experiences or insights to share about letting Filipinas ride on your boat or trying to be a captain in the Philippines, please leave a comment below so we can all learn together. If you'd like to ask me a question, it's easy. Just sign up for my free weekly newsletter code SMART123 and you'll be able to email me anytime. The link is in the description below. My name is Irish. I live here in the Philippines. My goal is to help guys find love and be smart. The ultimate mission of my channel is to make the world a less lonely place, and I hope today's episode helped make that happen in a tiny way. Everything I create is free, but if you enjoy my content, feel free to tip me by hitting the thanks button below so I can buy Red Horse and Jollibee. I live a very simple life here in the Philippines and I don't need anyone's money. But none of this would be possible without all the generous people who keep showing up and watching and helping support my efforts. It's my pleasure to do this work. So thanks to everyone for watching. And as usual, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for the good luck of the Philippines.